Hi, well, welcome back to the channel. It's time to have a play with the Speedo once again. First things first, I cut the correct wires so that I had plenty to play with, and then set to looking at the wiring diagram from the Chinese Speedo. I'm trying to work out what Lig and Pan are, and I love the way that it's not brown, it's brownish. I had written down some colours even though I'd cocked up the last time. I took the front of the SV's wiring loom off. I'd already got these colours written down anyway, so started fitting the automotive blocks onto the corresponding wires for the Speedo and the wiring loom. Once I've got everything working, I will put some sort of wiring diagram at the end of this video anyway, so if anybody else with an SV650 wants to fit one of these, first off, good luck. And secondly, fingers crossed, the wires will all be the same colour and you'll have a reference point there. I will obviously tidy up all the wiring once I've got it all sorted. Right, so once we'd got those sorted on the bench, put the wiring loom back on, and it was now time to get the multimeter out and start wiring things up properly, trying to find out what does what, where goes where, etc, etc. And eventually everything seems to be up and running, so we've got a neutral light, indicators, high beam, side lights, and then all together. That was that bit done for day one. I'll be getting out there again. I've got to sort out the rev counter, but I need some petrol, so we'll get that sorted anyway. So, trip across the road to Morrison's. Other petrol stations are available. Put about 5 litres, or in Old English about a gallon, of E10 unleaded, and fired the old girl up. This was one of the last jobs of the day, was trying to get the rev counter to work, so basically what I did, I knew the colour of the tacho wire from the SV, so I just needed to find the wire that was coming out of the Speedo for the tacho, which took me a few goes, but we found it eventually. So, found the right wires, connected them with automotive connectors, started the bike up once again, and as you can see now, got the rev counter working quite nicely. Okay, so now I had 2 items left. One was the actual speedometer itself, and the other one was the fuel gauge. Well, the speedometer runs off a magnet anyway on the original SV650 with 3 wires, the same as the setup with this Chinese Speedo. So basically one was a ground, we got 2 other wires, so they could either go one way or the other. So wired those up and then just spun the wheel, and hey presto, we have a speedometer. Whether it's correct is another kettle of fish. We'll have to wait until we're out on the road for that one. The fuel gauge gave me a bit of an headache really, to be honest, but when I thought about it logically, I should have got the answer that I got off my good friends on the SV650.org. I asked the question and basically got the answer that the first generation SV doesn't have a fuel gauge. It only has a light to basically tell you when your fuel's low or really low. You can wire it with a diode to show that you're getting low on fuel, but I don't know whether I'm going to bother doing that or not. I might just use the mileage actually on the speedometer itself. Okay, so as promised, here are the colours that I've used to get my Speedo up and running. Hopefully they're the same if you want to have a go, so you can always pause the video. Now this diagram's taken off the SV650 Facebook page. It shows you what all the pins do, all the colours and everything else. Big thanks to whoever put that on the files, it's helped immensely. Next job was working out how to fit the Speedo onto the bike, and I thought, well, I'll make myself a little bracket out of some steel, and I'm thinking of mounting it underneath the ignition like I did with the Scrap Heap Challenge. But I was sat on the loo one morning flicking through eBay and one of these popped up. The grand sum of £4.50, so it just made sense really to buy one and see if it'd fit. So, got out early in the shed, it was still dark at this time, and decided to have a go at fitting it. Look at that, it's as though it was made for it. Just look at the state of my hands. Could do with some Nivea on them. Well, that's what the wife would say. You know, I'm so pleased with that, and it's saved me so much time, all for the sake of £4.50. Can't complain. Just need to mount it up now and we're all done. Now for the next part, some numpty forgot to video it, didn't he, because he was that excited once again. Made up a little bracket basically, fitted it underneath the ignition unit to fit the Speedo to. Basically, I don't know whether to actually make it out of one single piece of steel, whether it's going to be strong enough or not, but we'll see. Okay, so next job on the cards was fitting the ballast load resistors that I'd bought a few weeks ago. This slows down the flasher rate on the LED indicators. Ended up fitting the first two on the front and it didn't seem to do any different, but by the time I'd started wiring the fourth one up, I give it a try and it seems to have worked. So now I've got proper indicators that flash at the right rate for the British MOT. So I just wired up this one just to show you. You've got the fast indicator right here. This is with no ballast load resistor in it. These are the ones that I chose. They were off eBay. They were super cheap, to be honest with you. It seems to be my favourite word, cheap. And they're wired up in parallel, so this is how, basically. And you also have to do each individual indicator, as I found out. So there you go. Once all 4 ballast indicators are fitted, we have an indicator that flashes at the proper rate for the British MOT. Right, so the next bit was fighting to get all the wires into the headlamp, which I got fitted eventually. Took the protective cover off the speedo. It don't look too bad, to be honest. Checking everything through, rev counters working, indicators flashing, high beam, etc. as usual. Quite pleased. We'll just see how it goes. And this is just a quick walk around of the bike. This is where we're up to at the moment. Do quite like the look of it. I'm still going to get that exhaust sorted, and then obviously it's going to be all the fussy stuff like the paint. Don't know about the handlebars neither. I've sat on it and I don't know whether I like it, to be honest, but we will see. We will see. You never know. Fat, bald 60-year-old and drop handlebars don't really go together, so I feel as though we're going to go sit up and beg. Right, so we're going to leave that there. I think we're progressing quite well, and I'll just say thanks for listening, thanks for watching, and once again we'll see you on the next instalment.